Stefanova, and this is ADVOCan We Not, and it is a one-act play about my experiences having a disability, binocular vision dysfunction, and all the stigmas and everything around that, and also about growing and being able to advocate for myself and stuff like that. And yes, warnings. There are 2 gunshots in the context of a race. Don't be scared. And then that mover likes to move, and she likes to go into the audience. I'm very sorry if any of you get blinded for a hot sec. It will mostly be up there, but I hope you all are okay. Thank you, and this is ADVOCan We Not.
Defines it as public support for or recommendation of a particular cause or policy. But I call it my greatest fear. In life, but mostly academically. Hi, I'm the narrator, and today I will be narrating a glimpse into my life. I have a disability called Bincoular Vision Dysfunction, which, also quoting Google, is defined as a condition where the eyes are slightly misaligned and they struggle to send one clear image to the brain. I'm not entirely sure of all the problems that go with it, but I know comprehension is a big one. Something I struggle with daily. This is my brain. Let's call my brain Brian, it's just easier that way. Brian is my arch nemesis. Because it really is my own thoughts and self-questioning that hurt me the most. I tend to worry about what other people think or say about things surrounding my disability, things like my accommodations, one of which is extra time on tests. When I do better on a test than someone who didn't get extra time, this is the usual response.
Okay, you did great, but I didn't have extra time, so...
The audacity. But let's rewind this conversation a bit, because this type of response is usually prompted without much on my part.
Okay, let's look at the same time. But first, how do you think you did? Because I wanted to cry looking at that last question. I swear it wasn't even in English.
Dude, I know. I tried doing it part by part, but I didn't even finish half the questions on the last page. I swear they never taught us this stuff.
No, actually. Okay, let's get the heartbreak over with so we can start planning for test corrections.
Oh!
So how'd you do?
I got an 82! What the actual flippity flap? Dude, can you take a picture of me with this? Thanks! I'll send that to my family later. So, what did you get?
A 76.
Hey, that's not bad! You passed, we both did better than we expected, that's great.
Okay, you did great, but I didn't have extra time, so...
See, this type of response really hurts my feelings and my self-esteem. Something that the people around me don't seem to get is that my accommodation doesn't make it easier for me to do well. It just allows me to do the same as my peers. For example, imagine a race. Everyone has the same starting point, unless of course it's staggered, but everyone has the same distance to go, the same starting point relative to their end distance. Now, imagine my comprehension issues as a pushed back starting point. Something mandated by the race, something impossible to get around. And this pushback isn't due to something I can control, but rather something tied to me, something actively acting against me. The pushback doesn't mean I'm going to try less or give up just because of my predisposed failure. I'm still going to run my best race, do my best work. But I'll almost always finish last. But with my accommodations, I can run the same race as everyone else, allowing me to do my very best, adding in support for my predisposed failure, allowing me to do the same as everyone else. Yes! See? I don't necessarily have an advantage, just a chance to work the same as my peers. But when my teachers deny or dismiss the accommodations,
Alright, so you guys have like 40 minutes to complete this assignment after just like do homework or something for another class. I don't know, just be productive.
See, this is where the problem starts. Let me explain. Normally, when I get extra time, I receive the test in pages, unless there's time to continue during or after class. That way I can take the time I need on each page and finish the ones I didn't another time. But if I see the whole test, when the timer starts, I have to stay to finish until the time runs out. And this is something that really stresses me out. The classroom is usually silent by this point. If I were to ask for the test in pages, everyone would hear me. And I don't want them to hear me. I just want my accommodations to be private, my needs to be respected and honored. But then enters Brian.
Dude, come on, just take the test. Everyone else is gonna do fine.
Oh, okay, but it's word problems. And word problems means words and sentences, which probably also means hidden meanings, which probably also means 2 or even 3-step problems.
Shush.
And I don't even understand the topic itself!
Shush. Okay? Word problems. Who cares? Plus, you could always retake it. Are you really responsible for making sure they honor your accommodations? Is it really your fault they don't remember?
See, this is where my advocacy issues start. Because I really do want to say, hey, I can't do this without the time I'm assured. Please, can I get the test in pages? But I can't. Because I'm scared. Scared that my classmates will think I'm less than, or that I'm less appreciative of the grades I get, or that the teacher will think I'm annoying, or that I'll take an hour and a half on the test and still fail because I just didn't understand.
Okay, but that's not your problem. You have records with the school. They should know.
But they obviously don't. So I should talk to them, right? I should do that, right? Or at least say something. But I don't. I take out my pens and my highlighters, and I sit there for the regularly allowed amount of time, and I do my best. I reread each question 3 times. I circle important things, and I cross out useless information, and I try to organize my writing and my thoughts. And yet, I didn't finish the test. And I can't, because there's no time after this class, and I've already seen the whole test. So I get up, and I turn it in, conversing with my classmates about how terrible the test was, and how hard it was, and how I'm definitely going to need to retake.
But deep down, you know it's your own fault for not telling the teacher about your accommodations. If you had told them, maybe you wouldn't have failed. And maybe you would have continued to fail if you just told someone.
I know! But you just... I can't.
Ever feel like your eyes are throwing a tiny dust ray? You know, that feeling when they're yelling, woohoo, but it sounds more like ouhoo. And then you realize you've been staring at a spreadsheet for approximately 17 straight hours? Yeah, we've all been there. Your eyes are basically staging a protest. They're tired, dry, and probably wanting to unionize. Fear not, weary eye havers. Introducing Sparkle Vision Eye Drops. Sparkle Vision. It's like a tiny luxurious spa day for your eyeballs. Just a drop or two, and suddenly those dust bunnies are evicted. The dryness is, well, less dry, and you can actually see the difference between important email and spam without discounted socks. And the best part? It's so easy to use. Even your cat could probably figure it out. So, stop letting your eyes hold you hostage. Give them the love they deserve. Sparkle Vision. See the world. Don't just squint at it.
So, how are your classes going?
Oh, great. Everything's fine.
That is great to hear. So, let's talk about...
But I don't say. I can't say, hey, some of my teachers aren't giving me my accommodations. Please, can you talk to them? I can't say that because...
Because you're a high schooler. You have to be able to speak up for yourself. College is only 2 years away, and you've got to be able to speak up for yourself there.
So, let's talk about your teachers. I heard you had some trouble in math last year. How's that going?
Pretty great, actually. I'm doing really well.
I'm
Lies.
so glad to hear that. English, physics?
Yep, those as well. Pretty great.
Liar!
So, let's talk about the extra time and stuff. Is that helpful in any of your classes?
Yeah, I use it in almost every class. It's super helpful. And that's about as far as I get discussing my accommodations with my counselor. At least until the meetings.
Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about which accommodations you find helpful and which we need to get rid of. First, let's take a look at what your teachers say about your use of extra time.
Oh.
Well, it looks like a lot of your teachers don't actually see you using the time and don't think you need it. How do you feel about that?
For the next 5 to 6 minutes, I will sit there explaining how I use the extra time more in some classes than others, and how sometimes it just feels impossible to finish the test, so I won't sit there for an extra 30 minutes for nothing, and I just give up. But will I say some of my teachers aren't making it possible for me to use it, or won't even communicate to me that it's an option?
No way under the sun.
Exactly. So I sit there and I talk about other things, because I just know that if I said the real problem, it would be turned around on me.
Because you have to be able to speak up for yourself. You know, it's probably your own fault you don't get the extra time.
But it just feels worse coming out of their mouths.
I think we need to communicate this to our teachers so that way we can keep it if you need it in those classes.
Okay, makes sense.
That'll never work. That'll never work. You know you need the help, and yet you continue not to ask for it even though you know you need it. Why? Why not?
Because I'm scared? I don't actually know what of. Maybe a history of teachers trying to take away my accommodations just ruined my drive to speak up. Or maybe it's the years of hurt feelings from my friends basing my every success on my extra time to make themselves feel better.
Okay, but you obviously need it. You're suffering without it.
I know.
And you know you're not going to get any better.
I know.
So you're not going to fight for it?
I really do want to. But I'm scared. I am dreadfully scared of advocating for myself. I'm scared of losing my accommodations too, but that fear is not overpowering my fears of talking to my teachers.
You do realize you'll continue to fail,
I know.
and you'll also continue to lose your accommodations.
I know.
So you'd rather not talk to your teachers and ignore what everyone says? Yes. Fear?
Yes. The years pass. Well, actually 2, maybe 3 years, but yeah. And things change. Well, sorta. I was able to get my accommodations recognized here at SU, and I've been working with my professors to make sure I get them when I need them. Life continues, classes continue, and sometimes I still tweak out when I don't advocate for myself and it goes badly for me, at least in my head. I still struggle daily with advocating, and I've met many people with the same fears. With an invisible disability, I have to ask for help, because you can't tell just by looking at me. Looking at me, you can tell I have vision problems because I wear glasses, but you can't tell that I have comprehension problems. You can't tell that it takes me twice as long to read a single chapter, or that I have trouble tracking while reading, but also just while viewing everyday life in movies. You can't tell that I struggle to understand the words in front of me and that I struggle daily with reading aloud in class. But that's okay. That's why I advocate. That's why I get accommodations, and that's why I ask for help. But it's scary. And sometimes still Brian bursts in when I'm trying to advocate.
Can we not?
Okay. Thanks for your time. See ya. And sometimes Brian still pushes in when I'm trying to advocate.
Can we not?
You did the ad.
You got me off.
Kirsten Trump is looking at
Don't make me. Just think.
Cut. All right, save a line.
But it's scary. And sometimes still Brian pushes in while I'm trying to advocate.